So quite the day in Ottawa today. We had Freeland, the finance minister, come out and resign abruptly, right? And we had also the Canada's budget numbers come out as well, basically in a huge deficit of 61.9 billion, basically creating more fears of what's happening, uncertainty in what's happening in Ottawa and with the Liberal government. Now, with Freeland resigning abruptly, we saw on Twitter basically the reasons for it had to do with some animosity that she had with, looks like with Trudeau. And the issue was that she mentioned that Trudeau was looking to appoint her in a different role because of all the tariff fears that have now come up with Trump and his new administration for 2025, talking about he's going to put 25% tariffs on Canada, and Trudeau seeing that maybe Freeland's not the right person to be part of the negotiations with the U.S. And Freeland probably didn't like that, and basically mentioned on X saying that, okay, if you're not going to appoint me for if you're going to move me into another position, basically means that you don't believe in my current position or what I'm doing right now. Therefore, if I don't have the confidence from you, I cannot move forward with any role. Therefore, I'm resigning, right? So we had that whole issue that popped up this morning. We had the federal deficit numbers come out just recently, and also new breaking news from Bloomberg, Trudeau to name LeBlanc Canada's new finance minister. So all this happening at the same time. Now, who's LeBlanc? Dominic LeBlanc is the Minister of Public Safety, and it's just kind of funny to see how someone with public safety background is going into a completely different role into finance, which makes you wonder that there's a lot of uncertainty that's happening in Ottawa and with the government, which can bring a lot of fears for Canadians, wondering what's going on. Now, what's interesting with all of this is, if you see, maybe you can see, maybe not, there's a chart behind me. This is the Polymarket website. It's a betting website, which just spiked up and basically betting that there's an 88% probability that Trudeau's going to resign by or before April. We also saw Jagmeet Singh today come out and saying and asking for Trudeau to resign. So, and we also had CBC mention that there's rumors going on Trudeau possibly resigning. So Polymarket is a very interesting site because I tend to see that the bets tend to be sometimes quite accurate, right? Polymarket did a good job on betting the U.S. elections and many other things as well. And there could be a possibility that we might see Trudeau, or this idea of Trudeau resigning before April, could come into fruition, could happen. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to happen for sure. I'm not saying believe in Polymarket. It is a betting site, but it is interesting to see how it's sitting at 88%, and with the rumors from CBC, and now you had Jagmeet coming out all of a sudden, it is a possibility there. But that doesn't fix anything in Canada. It doesn't make anything better. It just makes them look like, if that were to happen, look like other countries out there that's been having unstable government actions, like, for example, let's say France, Germany, UK, and so on, right? Canada is starting to look like that, and things could get worse off for Canadians. Now, in terms of Trudeau being replaced, we don't know who, if is it going to happen, who is it going to be, right? And it could just be a temporary fill-in until the actual elections come in, and then and then we see who's running Canada from that point on. But until then, there's all this uncertainty, with this adding up to what Trump was talking about of adding tariffs 25%, hearing about that the discussions weren't the best between Trudeau and Trump, and we know the relationships between Trudeau and Trump is not the best. We're seeing the Canadian dollar is getting weakening here as well. Right now, if I look at the USD CAD sitting at 1.42, it is not far off from its resistance level. It's where it bounced off previously back in 2016 and in 2020, which sits around 1.46. So seeing a weakening in the Canadian dollar, seeing that continue wouldn't be a surprise, and seeing that going up, I'm talking about the USD CAD going to about 1.4546 wouldn't be a surprise there, with all this uncertainty happening. One, in the government, uncertainty with the trading partner America, with tariffs with Trump, and to add to all of this, the jobs data in Canada that continues to show weakness, the unemployment rate that continues to spike up. So overall, it's really not looking good for Canada going forward. And all it takes, like I've been saying before, just one simple event, no matter where it comes from, for it to crack the Canadian economy and make it completely go down. I'm trying to use nice words, so that's the best word I could find. And for the Canadian currency, we could see more weakness, especially now that we have Bank of Canada continuing the rate cuts. Although they were a little bit more on the hawkish side, saying that they may slow down on it. Things could change, depending on what happens in the government, depending on what happens to the unemployment rate. But definitely, whether the Bank of Canada, cuts rates or doesn't so much, we could still see the Canadian dollar move lower, especially against the US dollar, because it is very likely this week the US Federal Reserve, they are going to cut rates, but they're going to probably signal less rate cuts, way less rate cuts, and sound more hawkish for next year. That would cause the US dollar to move up and the Canadian dollar to move down, making it more of a higher probability to get to that 1.45, 1.46 number that I was talking about on the USD CAD. So, lot to digest here, and it'll be interesting in the coming weeks, months, how this all plays out. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment below, subscribe, hit the like button and bell icon to be notified on the next video. And let's see if Polymarket is right. Are we going to get Trudeau to resign or not? You guys let me know. See you.